Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Think and grow rich. There comes a moment in every life when a man or woman must look into the mirror and ask themselves, am I living by design, or am I living by default? Am I shaping my days with intention, or am I drifting, carried by currents I did not choose, toward shores I do not desire? Most people never stop to ask this question. They wake, they eat, they work, they sleep, and they repeat. They confuse motion with progress. They confuse survival with living. And in that quiet, tragic confusion, decades of their lives are surrendered, not stolen, not taken, but surrendered to habits of thought that never belonged to them in the first place. You see, reality does not begin in the world around you. It begins in the world within you. Every invention, every revolution, every work of art, every fortune, every empire, every transformation humanity has ever witnessed, was first nothing more than a thought in the mind of one human being. A single idea, fragile, invisible, weightless, has toppled kings, has freed nations, has raised cathedrals, has built industries, has altered the course of history itself. And yet, how few of us give proper attention to the invisible workshop where all reality begins, the thoughts we allow to occupy our minds. Thomas Edison spent nights without sleep, pacing in his laboratory, fueled by an idea that the world mocked. Henry Ford was laughed at when he said he would build an engine that worked on its own, without horses, without rails, without limits. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, that his dreams were childish and impossible. And Abraham Lincoln, before he freed millions from bondage, freed himself from the prison of despair, refusing to let defeat after defeat define him. Each of them mastered the one principle most men and women ignore, that the outer world bends to the inner world. That if you change your thoughts, you change your destiny. But let us not speak of destiny as if it is some far-off horizon, waiting in the future. Destiny is here, now, in this very breath. It is written in the thoughts you allow to rise and fall inside your mind today. For every thought is a seed. And like any seed, it either dies where it falls, or it takes root and grows into something visible, tangible, undeniable. Plant weeds in the soil of your mind, and you will harvest regret. Plant courage, and you will harvest opportunity. Plant vision, and you will harvest a future that others will call miraculous. The truth is simple, but it is not easy. Most people guard their possessions with more care than they guard their minds. They will place alarms on their homes, locks on their doors, passwords on their phones, but they will allow toxic beliefs, doubts, fears, and lies to trespass daily into their consciousness, poisoning the soil from which all their actions spring. The man who learns to guard his mind, who filters every thought through the gates of purpose, discipline, and vision, that man becomes unstoppable. Understand this, every belief you carry either builds you or breaks you. The man who believes he is powerless will act as though he is powerless. The woman who believes she is unworthy will act as though she is unworthy. And because the world responds not to who you are, but to who you believe yourself to be, they will confirm their own chains, not knowing they are the ones who forged them. Belief is the architect of reality. It is the unseen blueprint that dictates the shape of your life. If you hold small beliefs, you will live a small life. If you hold daring, bold, unreasonable beliefs, your life will reflect them with equal force. When Andrew Carnegie envisioned an empire of steel, it was not logic that guided him, it was belief. Logic says stay where it is safe, belief says leap, build, expand, conquer. Logic whispers of what is, belief shouts of what can be. And belief, my friend, is not inherited, it is chosen. Every day you are handed two tools: faith in possibility or surrender to limitation. What you build with those tools is up to you. But understand this: no one else will choose for you. The world will not come and lift you from your seat, it will not force you to rise, it will not drag you into greatness. It will only mirror back to you the thoughts you consistently dwell upon. Consider the story of the sculptor. Before him stands a block of cold marble, heavy, unshaped, unremarkable. To most, it looks like nothing. But within his mind's eye, he sees David, he sees Moses, he sees a masterpiece hidden in the stone. With hammer and chisel, he frees it, not by creating something new, but by removing what does not belong. Such is the work of thought. Your life, at this moment, is raw marble. You can stare at it in despair, seeing only the weight of what it is, or you can envision what it could become, and strike, day after day, with thoughts that carve away fear, doubt, hesitation, until the masterpiece within you emerges. This is why clarity is power. A mind without clarity is a storm without direction. It rages, it whirls, but it goes nowhere. The man with clarity of vision, however, can take even the smallest spark of thought and ignite it into a fire that reshapes his entire world. Do not underestimate the force of a clear vision, written and etched into the deepest fibers of your soul. Every empire, every movement, every triumph in history began with a vision so sharp, so vivid, that its creator could see it even when the world around him said it was impossible. But vision without discipline is hallucination. How many dreamers perish in frustration, not because they lacked imagination, but because they lacked the discipline to transform imagination into reality? Discipline is the bridge between thought and creation. It is the daily choice to act in alignment with your vision, even when the fire of inspiration has cooled, even when the world tempts you to abandon your post. Edison did not birth the light bulb in a single stroke of genius, he failed 10,000 times. But his discipline refused to let those failures define him. Ford did not create the assembly line because it was convenient, but because discipline guided his every decision toward efficiency. Discipline is the invisible companion of every great life. Without it, thought remains a dream. With it, thought becomes destiny. And let us speak of action. For thought and belief, without action, are corpses. To sit and wait for life to change without moving your feet is to insult the very power you were given. Action, consistent and relentless, is the proof of belief. It is not enough to say you believe you can succeed, you must demonstrate that belief in the battlefield of daily life. You must speak it through your effort, through your persistence, through your refusal to bend when obstacles rise against you. Every obstacle is not a wall but a test. A test of whether your belief is strong enough to stand the fire. Weak thoughts crumble in adversity. Strong thoughts grow sharper, stronger, more precise. The diamond is forged not in comfort, but under unimaginable pressure. So too is the mind of a man or woman destined for greatness. And in this journey, never forget gratitude. For gratitude is not mere politeness, it is power. Gratitude unlocks the hidden riches of your mind. A grateful heart sees possibility where an ungrateful one sees only lack. Gratitude transforms every moment into fuel. Even pain, when met with gratitude, becomes the fire that tempers your steel. It is gratitude that kept Lincoln steady when the nation was split in two. It is gratitude that kept Mandela alive in the darkness of a prison cell, believing still in the light of freedom. Gratitude is the lens that turns suffering into wisdom, struggle into strength, and failure into foundation. So guard your thoughts, for they are the seeds of your future. Choose your beliefs, for they are the architecture of your destiny. Sharpen your vision, for clarity directs the force of your mind. Practice discipline, for it is the bridge from thought to reality. Take relentless action, for it proves your belief to the world. And cultivate gratitude, for it turns even the hardest road into a path of power. Because in the end, life does not give you what you wish for. It gives you what you believe for. It gives you what you discipline yourself for. It gives you what you act for. And every one of those things begins with a thought. Change your thoughts, and you will change your reality.